Fire broke out south of Boulder just after 11 this morning. Since then, nearly 600 homes have been burned, making it Colorado's most destructive wildfire in just a matter of hours. Authorities say both fires were caused by power lines knocked down by strong, very powerful winds.
And the situation really escalated so quickly, catching Coloradans off guard as they were just going about their days. This video shared on Twitter shows shoppers evacuated from the Costco in Superior. And many appear to be just surprised by just how serious the situation is when they get outside.
As the fire continues to burn, tens of thousands of Coloradans are under evacuation orders. The areas you see in red on this map, those are areas where evacuation orders are in place. The areas in yellow are under evacuation warnings.
Now, several evacuation centers are set up tonight. Here's a list provided by the governor's office. In Lafayette, you have the YMCA of Northern Colorado on Dagny Way. In Niwot, the Rocky Mountain Christian Church on Niwot Road.
In Boulder, the North Boulder Rec Center on Broadway. In Longmont, the Longmont Senior Center. However, that location is not for overnight shelters. For animals that need to be evacuated, they can be brought to the Jefferson County Fairgrounds.
All right, let's get to tonight's team coverage, and there is a lot of it.
We have our crews all across Boulder County right now. We'll check in with everyone here in a second, but we want to get right out to Denver 7's Russell Haythorne.
It started with an ominous cloud of smoke in Boulder County, cars turning around on US 36 to escape the fast-moving wildfire. It quickly grew out of control.
It got real smoky, and it just kept increasing.
Let's go back up. Moving so fast, it caught even us off guard and several people in nearby businesses and hotels.
We're near scared. The fire is not far.
Then mass evacuations in suburban Denver. Officers going door to door in Superior, a natural disaster unlike anything anyone in Colorado has ever seen. Superior and Louisville residents racing home from work to save their pets and keepsakes.
We saw your reports on TV from McCaslin and Cherry in the Dillon area, right by the movie theater, and you were describing it like Armageddon. So it was like, okay, I'm definitely going home, and we're definitely packing and getting out.
It's frustrating because people want to go to save their pets or check on their property, but you can't let anybody go in there.
Then evidence of catastrophic damages and widespread destruction. Sadly, apartment complexes completely engulfed, houses on fire.
Seeing people's homes, family lives go up, and these high winds really are making it uncontrollable.
The governor and other leaders saying hundreds of homes lost in Colorado.
Out here, there are firefighting vehicles just trying to take care of those last flames that have popped up. And right across the street, you can see these firefighters are putting out some flames. It's kind of hard to see, but this used to be a home. Now it is reduced to ashes. If you just follow standing, this has now been reduced to rubble, and just the intensity of the fire actually burned the paint and the tires off of this car that you can see right here. This just repeats itself, house after house after house, to the north side. But on that north side where the flames really took off, and during that windy moment, they just jumped the house to house to house, and we were actually on the other side. This is a garage that you're looking at right now. 2 cars completely reduced to rubble. On the other side, it looks like a cliff. That's actually where the home used to be. We're just witnessing this damage right now. Yet another home, hundreds just like this in a matter of hours. So we're witnessing right now the first glimpses of what we're gonna see a lot more of tomorrow, unfortunately. And then in this house right here, you can see just the winds were so strong that this lamppost was knocked over. We saw several different efforts of firefighting, including using ladders, using
a large part of the night, this is where we were with the broad scope of everything. We heard from Sloan, we heard from Russell, and they were in the midst of the discussion there. We could go ahead and just pull up some shots from earlier. As Sloan and Russell were down there, they were up and close to where the houses were burning. From our vantage point up here, from our vantage point from up here, it was a lot more of an inferno looking type of scene. We're still seeing flames in the distance, a lot of glows in different parts of Superior. Panning over to the right, there was a lot of flames that were moving towards the Broomfield area. Since the gusts have calmed down, we have seen a lot of the fires either die down or fire crews finally able to get over to them with better visibility, less smoke, to put out those spot fires that started after those gusts went down. Now, as you guys have been mentioning, the entire city of Superior was evacuated. That's 13,000 people, and overall tens of thousands of people have been evacuated. All of Louisville was also evacuated, parts of Broomfield, parts of Westminster, and Arvada was even put, some parts of Arvada was put on some pre-evacuations, but those have since been lifted. Those pre-evacuation orders in parts of Arvada have been lifted. And you know, we also thought it was important to pay a visit to some of these evacuation centers to kind of see, you know, who was going there and what their situation was. And here's what they told us.
Minute to minute, dude. I'm trying to keep it together, to be honest, and not doing the best job of it. I mean, seeing an entire 2,000, 3,000 square foot home just on fire that close to you, yeah, I don't want anybody to have to deal with that. Terrifying. Like on the way in, it was just smoke. Like the Harper Lake area looked like it was all going up. You could see heavy black, nasty construction material smoke.
And just, you know, devastating hearing some of their accounts and really the people that we've been meeting out here. Now, in the far distance over there, that's northwest of Superior. Remember, 2 hours ago, we said, hey, look, we see a little spot fire in the corner several miles away from Superior. That's towards Boulder County. And those flames you're seeing over there was just a little hot spot, was just a little glow, and with, you know, the winds changing direction, that has visibly grown a lot, and that's the unpredictable here. What's going to happen next? Obviously, we are not expecting those gusts to come back.
Broomfield, from where we're at, and really, this is a whole different look than what we saw several hours ago. This several neighborhoods were structures were just lit up on fire. Right now, though, we are really, the only thing that we're seeing is a lot of first responder lights and a lot of smoke. Further down, we were seeing a lot of hotspots popping up as well, though. Now that we're showing you this is McCaslin in Washington, over in Louisville earlier this evening. This was taken by photojournalist Eric English, a longtime veteran here at Denver 7. He tells me, when I asked, was that one house or multiple, he said dozens and dozens and dozens of homes he saw engulfed in flames. From the video you're looking at, it is truly hard to watch. And to give you an idea of where that's at, if you're familiar with Harper Lake, that development what you're looking at is just south of Harper Lake, just north of Louisville Police Department. Of course, we're hearing that just around the area of the Louisville Rec Center. We are still trying to figure out what's going on with that. But we mentioned McCaslin in Washington, where we're at here in Broomfield, and that is some plumes in the very, very far back there, but that is directly west where we're at in Broomfield, right at McCaslin Boulevard. So it looks like that fire just went directly south, at least a part of it went directly south right there at McCaslin, because we have seen that hotspot come and go for about an hour now. It's looked much worse than that, but right now I do see a few flames kind of piercing through the ridgeline, but everything else, as I mentioned, looking much, much better than it did just an hour or two ago, where it periodically just picking and choosing its structures that it wanted to go after. But it really does now look like things are a lot more calm, a lot more under control. Of course, we are, obviously.
We declared a state of emergency earlier today. I just found out that we've been approved for Fire Management Assistance Grant, FMAG. That's federal assistance. We're going to, of course, be starting damage assessments for public assistance and individual assistance. Many people, of course, also have that alongside fire insurance, but there's no way to quantify in any financial way the price of a loss, of losing, the chair that was handed down to you from your grandmother, of losing your childhood yearbooks, of losing your photos, of losing your computer files, which hundreds of Colorado families have experienced today with no warning. gusts of 100, 110 miles an hour can and have moved this fire down a football field in a matter of seconds. Very little time to get out, very little time to even get the most important parts of your life. And yes, it'll be a difficult process for Colorado families who are directly affected to rebuild their lives.
The garage right here. And you can look out. It's a little bit dark right now. We've lost some of the light from the fire engines, but you can still see this was somebody's home, and this was the pillars that held up that home. And I just want to take you over here more. And just one other thing I wanted to do what they could. And this seemed like a very happy neighborhood. The other side of the street is still the houses are still standing. I've been getting some messages on social media asking specifically which homes were burned to the ground, and I'm going to be as specific as I can. We're on Imperial and El Dorado Road. We've seen about 20 homes along the south side of the Rock Creek neighborhood have burned to the ground. The firefighters have done a really great job to save as many north side. The chances are the chances that your house is still standing is much greater. But I really just want to get this across that these individual
neighborhood behind me. This is the Meadowview area near 107th and Sim Street, as you said, Shannon. And this is one of the latest evacuation orders that we learned about for this area. Now, I want to transition over to evacuation centers for people who've had to leave their neighborhoods tonight. Some options for them to go to various places. So here are the shelters that we know of. We know of the YMCA of Northern Colorado. They are open tonight. We also know the North Boulder Rec Center. They're open, as well as the Rocky Mountain Christian Church. Also, another area that people can go to is the Longmont Senior Center. And then another location is the First Bank Center of Broomfield. Now, these are all evacuation centers for people who have not tested positive for COVID-19. For those residents who've had to leave their homes who have tested positive, they are being asked to go to the Mount Calvary Lutheran Church in Boulder. That is located at 3485 Stanford Court. I want to share that address one more time, 3485 Stanford Court. Now, for those who've had to leave their homes who may have animals or pets, they are being asked to bring their pets to the Boulder County Fairgrounds. That area is going to be serving as a large animal shelter. And we know that they are having some capacity issues right now, but they are taking some pets. So residents, if you have a pet, you have animals, feel free to stop by there. Also, the Riverdale Animal Shelter is assisting families with displaced pets and large animals due to the fire evacuations in this region. So of course, information changing every minute it seems, but right now we know the latest evacuation order in place is happening here in Westminster at this neighborhood behind me, Meadowview Estates.
As the fire continues to burn, tens of thousands of Coloradans are under evacuation orders. The area you see in red on this map, those are where evacuation orders are currently in place. The areas in yellow are under evacuation warnings. And we are continuing to monitor the situation. This is the Flatirons Crossing area where homes are currently burning. And you can see the emergency lights from fire crews and emergency officials going door to door and trying to protect as much property as possible.
And this has been one of the incredible vantage points we've had all evening long, looking north here to get a bigger scope on just how many fires have burned within this Marshall Fire, how many homes, how many neighborhoods, and though conditions are improving, so much damage already has been done, and it is such good news that the firefighters can actually fight some fires tonight. So for the lion's share of today, that just wasn't possible because of the incredible ferocious winds they had. So at least tonight they are able to make some headway on some of these fires tonight.
Let's go back out.
Firefighters who have been fighting these flames are actually just kind of moving out some of the hoses right now to save what they've used to save these homes. And I just want to show you the house to my left, or your left, that house has been destroyed. But the house to the right, seems to mostly be okay. Flames as they've been burning down homes, and it's been hundreds of firefighters. We've seen so many different counties, different jurisdictions of sheriff's departments, different police departments kind of banding together to fight these flames and to keep the public safe. And if
continue to give you updates online on thedenverchannel.com and on social media throughout the evening as well. And we want to thank, all of the emergency officials and firefighters and those who are doing evacuations and the good work that they're doing to get people to shelter and give them resources throughout the night, and who have worked so hard today just to let people know what is going on.
All right, we'll be back on the air at 4:30 a.m. I'm so very sorry that we're having to go through this, but I so appreciate you turning to us in this time. Good night.